Hello, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to episode 2 of the Annotations podcast. I am currently in the process of writing my debut novel, which I am currently calling Project Heat. It is a new adult romantic comedy with fantastic vibes, frenemies to lovers, all of your favorite tropes, and I am so excited about it. If you haven't watched my previous videos, I'm currently trying to complete my full first draft by April 1st. I am about 15k words in, and I just made most of my progress there when I swapped my screen time with writing a couple of weeks ago. I think I just uploaded that video. So if you didn't watch that, definitely go check it out. But that is when I made most of my progress, and I am finally getting into a better writing routine. So I'm excited to hopefully hit my goal of completing the first draft by April 1st. In typical new YouTuber fashion, I am very excited to do the authortube newbie tag. Sitting down to record this really reminds me of back in the day when I used to have a YouTube channel when I was very young. It is no longer public, but I remember doing a bunch of tags because that was so popular at the time in like 2012, 2013. And I just remember like doing one in my old bedroom where I was like sitting on top of my dresser because it was like the best angle that I could find. And I was like answering a bunch of questions. That was like back when on YouTube, like somebody would stand in front of the camera and like pop from one side to the other, and like it was just such a fun time. And so this feels like really exciting to record and just makes this whole journey of being a YouTuber very real to me. And of course, this podcast, Annotations, is extremely exciting, and I want to share this with the podcast as well because this is going to be a very much a get to know me sort of episode. And if you are a writer, a reader, whatever you are, I would love to hear from you. Comment down below what you're reading, what you're writing. Let's talk. I'm so excited to be a part of this community, and I am excited to connect with everyone that is in it. So let's get into the questions. The first question, which is a little silly, is how did you find out about authortube? And I have been watching YouTube since I was literally like under the age of 10 years old. I am now 24, almost 25, so I've pretty much been watching YouTube since I had access to the internet as a young child. And so authortube just kind of like naturally found me over the years. I went from watching all the big creators to getting into more niche areas of YouTube, booktube especially, and of course with that, and as I started to do more research on writing, I just kind of fell into authortube, and I feel like it's just such a nice community. It's hard to find communities on YouTube and TikTok, which I've been posting on like writer author talk for a while now. It's just, I think it's just hard to find like good communities that are really supportive and care about each other. And that's something that I really love about the author community on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. It's just so nice to see how everybody supports each other. The support that I've received on YouTube so far and on my other socials is just so special. And yeah, I guess you could say that's how I found it. It just kind of, just as you find anyone else or any other area, corner of the internet, it just kind of comes to you as you start to develop your interest in it. So that's how I found authortube. The next question I also don't have the best answer to, but that is, when did I start writing? And I feel like there's no good answer to this question. I talked about this in another video, but I have been writing for as long as I can remember. Being a writer has been a lifelong dream of mine. And for some reason in my head, I kind of thought that it would not be something that I would pursue until I was like older, like in my 40s, like my kids are grown up, like sort of thing. And so to be pursuing this now is really really crazy, but also such a blessing because I'm an entrepreneur. I think the opportunity to pursue this now and just like dive in and give it my best shot is something that I am very grateful for, and something that I'm so proud to have built the opportunity to do this for myself. So yeah, it's just really exciting. But like I said, I've been writing for as long as I can remember. I think writing like more seriously, I don't know if we could say this is seriously, but writing more like, having a deeper writing practice and like being really invested in it, I would say probably sometime around high school, when I did write a lot of like fun projects for a writing club I was in. And also, like many of us, I was a fan fiction writer, so I would spend literally countless days and nights writing stories at home in the middle of the night. And Yeah, that was a big part of my writing journey. I can't be ashamed of it. Will the internet ever see the light of day of that work again? Maybe if I make a video reacting to it, let me know if you'd like to see that. But otherwise, absolutely not. That is gone and in the past, but definitely an important part of my writing journey. The next question is, what genres do I write? And that for me is exclusively romance. I could not imagine trying to write literally anything else. I did probably, again, sometime in high school, I started developing like this crazy, intricate fantasy world, and I have no idea where I store that information. It is nowhere to be found in my Google Docs, in my notes, in my anything. I have no idea what happened to that or where I was writing that. So that is dead and gone and disappeared from my brain. I think fantasy is probably the only other area that I would ever even consider writing. It would definitely be a fantasy romance. So, will that happen one day? I can't say because I just right now I'm just so into this contemporary romance that I just can't imagine like I don't know how fantasy authors do it. I really don't. Like it's really amazing. Like I am genuinely amazed by the creativity and the intricacy, and it's just crazy. Would I love to delve into that maybe one day in the future? Definitely, but I don't see myself writing anything other than contemporary romance for the foreseeable future. The next question is, am I a plotter or a pantser? And I am definitely both, which I'm pretty sure people call a plantser. And what that means is pretty much a plotter is somebody who like really deeply plots out their entire book in advance of writing it, whereas a pantser kind of just goes with the flow and writes it as the story comes to them. And I definitely used to say that I was a plotter because that's kind of how I am with my whole life. Like, I posted a video a couple of weeks ago where I literally broke down like every actionable step that I needed to take in order to achieve my goal of finishing this draft by April. So I am a planner, but I don't think I'm a plotter. Like, when I started working on this recent project, I did try to plot out the whole thing and I plotted it all out and I didn't like it. It just wasn't what I had expected. It took a weird direction because I was kind of like forcing myself to be a plotter. And so now I'm kind of approaching it differently where I'm like plotting a little bit as I go and then like coming up with it. And I have a general idea, of course, of the major arcs and subplots and everything that's going into my story, but I am definitely somewhere in between on that. The next question is, what tense or POV do I write in? And I always used to write in past tense. I don't know why that is. I think I just like used to read a lot in past tense, so that's just how I started writing. Recently, I've been doing a lot of writing in present tense. My current story is present tense, which is not new for me, but it's kind of like I catch myself writing sentences in past tense because I guess I'm just not used to it. So that is definitely a learning curve for me, and I always write in first person. I'm also writing this book from dual POV, so the male love interest perspective and the female love interest perspective. So that is very new for me. I never used to write from the male perspective, but actually I'm really enjoying that part of the writing process. I think it just really brings the other character to life so well, and I love reading dual POV. So writing it has been really, really fun. I was super nervous that I wasn't going to be like good at it or whatever, but it's been really fun and I'm really enjoying that so far. The next question is, what is the first story I ever wrote? I would love to say that it was a Niall Horn fanfiction, but it was probably something random that I wrote when I was in middle school. I honestly cannot remember. So much of that time in my life is like blurry to me that I there's no like significant first thing that I ever wrote. Honestly, like the most significant like large extended piece of work that I ever wrote was like genuinely probably a fan fiction of some sort, and we love to hear that. We love to hear it. I think I had a video go like, mini viral on TikTok and Shorts last week. That was like the pipeline of the pipeline of fan fiction writers to actually like becoming aspiring authors, and that is very real. Like if that's you and like you're here, like let me know. Let me know, like we're our own special like subset community within the author community, and that is very much like a legit pipeline. So The next question is, do you schedule your writing or are you a mood writer? And I think for me, I'm definitely a mix of both. Being able to do all of these writing challenges and doing a lot of vlogging for YouTube, I definitely have been scheduling my writing in that way. Otherwise, I would say I'm definitely a mood writer. I think it's kind of hard to say because if you're somebody with a job, like most of us, you kind of have to schedule your writing. Like you can't really always mood write unless you're having like a super free and available weekend, which is always nice. But for the most part, I definitely do have to kind of schedule my sessions. Something that I've been loving, and I talked about this in another video where I talked about how you can balance your writing with just like other things like work and life. And that is using the app Structured to kind of plan out my day and then see where I have open gaps in my day to write. And so I've been really loving that. This is not like nearly at all sponsored. I just really enjoy the app. It's free. So that is something that I've been really enjoying for scheduling my writing sessions and just kind of planning everything out. The next question, which I think is kind of funny, I would be really surprised to hear other people's perspectives on this, but it is, do you type, write by hand, or do you do a mix of both? And I could simply never imagine writing a book by hand. I honestly don't even write in my journal by hand anymore. I think it's something that I would love to get back to, but I think we just live in such a world where it's so much easier and just more thoughtless to pick up your phone and start writing something than it is to actually get a notebook out and a pen. I have the Day One journal app, so I'm always typing in my journal on there. And I think for me, that is the only way that I've been able to have like a constant journal practice, which is really important for me as a girly with anxiety. So that is like always a constant for me is typing. And then obviously when it comes to writing my book, I am definitely typing. If you are somebody out there who has handwritten a book, I would literally love to hear from you and hear how long that took you, because that is genuine commitment. The next question is, where do you write? And this is a good one. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I am writing in this very room, my little office, or just like somewhere in my house. I really need to get out more when it comes to writing. Like I said earlier, I am an entrepreneur, so I work for myself. And so 9 times out of 10, I'm home anyway during the week, and I don't really go out much to go work. I used to go work at a lot of cafes and stuff, but since moving, I just like haven't really gotten back into that. So I definitely want to do that more. I am going to be doing some writing challenges on my channel over the next couple of weeks where I'm going to be writing for a long time, basically. And I definitely want to get out and write some more fun during that challenge. So hopefully that will kind of spark me back into getting out, because honestly, it helps with inspiration too. Like just being in the same place every day when you write is really not like, it's not good for the creative juices. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to get out a little bit more when it comes to that. The next question is, how am I going to publish? AKA, am I self-publishing or traditionally publishing? And I really have been going back and forth on this for a while, but as I know it is for most people, it is a dream of mine to be traditionally published. I wanted to work in book publishing for years. I took a lot of classes on it in college. I am just like so in love with the idea of being traditionally published. And so, as of right now, that is definitely my plan. I am gearing up to go through the trenches when I am through the trenches of writing my book. I'm gearing up to go through the trenches of getting it traditionally published. I know it's going to be a journey for sure, but I'm really passionate about the story and about my ability to share my voice and the message that is in the story. And so I just feel like it needs to be heard by the world. And being traditionally published has been such a dream of mine for so long, and it would just mean so much to me and feel like an amazing, undescribable accomplishment to be traditionally published. So, as of right now, that is definitely the plan for me. The next question is, what content can you expect from my channel? And as you guys know on the podcast, Annotations is essentially a podcast where I'm going to be sharing little notes and thoughts and experiences from my life. A lot of that will probably heavily relate to my creative entrepreneurship, aka my writing, my social media business, my journey as an entrepreneur in her 20s, all of that. And on my channel as a whole, you will obviously be seeing a lot of writing vlogs, which I'm calling the debut diaries, and writing challenges. And hopefully I would love to connect with other author tubers and creators later in the game and have people on the podcast, connect with other writers, maybe swap routines, a lot of fun stuff. So I'm really excited for all of the content that is coming and everything that I have planned out over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys are excited to see it too. Also, while I have you, 99% of people who watch my videos, the small group of you that do, are not subscribed. Help a small creator out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I would love if you could give this video a like and comment something below so that we can connect. Tell me what you're reading. Tell me what you're writing. I would love to hear from you. The next question, which is I guess kind of similar, is what am I looking forward to most on authortube? And I feel like I said earlier, just the community. Like, it's so nice to be part of such a caring and involved community and so supportive. That's what I'm definitely most excited for. Like, of course, it's super exciting to be a creator and be sharing my journey, but to have that community backing me and supporting me, even in such an early stage of my journey, has been really, really special for me. So I'm definitely most excited to see where that takes me. Those are all of the questions. This was actually really fun to film. Like I said, I kind of feel like I am 12 years old again when I was like committed to being a YouTuber back in the day. I feel like I am just healing like this young part of me with this channel, and sharing this journey is just so, I don't know, it's just so crazy. Like, that version of me is the same version of me that was spending every night writing fan fiction and coming up with these crazy ideas for stories. And it's just like, it's so special that pretty much like 10 to 12 years later, I am embarking on like a whole new level of that journey. I'm taking on YouTube, I'm writing a book, and I'm taking it seriously, and it's actually a real thing that's happening. It's just so crazy, and really, it's giving healing journey. It's giving healing journey. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Again, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow the podcast, rate the podcast, it would mean the world to me as I continue to share my journey with you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and I will see you very soon with another episode of Annotations.